Oh, how's it going, everybody? I did. Well, I got rid of the link. Hang on. I something came up and I saw that 311, and I think that was a big day, being that Corona means crown. And you're talking about opening the book of Revelation with the Antichrist crowning event, because Jesus opened the seals, of course. I mean, but we see it. We don't see Jesus opening the seals. We're not in heaven. We see it, that the book is opened when the Antichrist receives his deadly wound. Hey, it's 9/11, y'all, with the 11-3. Wow. So, and our contributor of the day said the 311 is basically the most heaviest coded item that he sees in all these psychological operations, like this past, trumpet CPAC, how all these different things. The 11-3 and the 311 are just very powerful. And I will argue so is the 313 or 13-3, 133 or 313, because that's the Bible verse, Revelation 13:3, and there's a Zapruder film 3:13. So when you go back to when the whole crowning situation took place, we're going to look at this two different ways. First of all, if you just go 311, 220, when basically the Earth's locking down situation began, and you run it to our potential deadly wound day, 2 days before the rising through that flower full moon, the dark night rises, it's 11:48. So there's that 148 in there fused with 11, and 11 has the word Eve in it. And there is a 187 in the middle of the seconds, But mainly you want to really focus on that 148. Now, 313 or 313, which was when the future Antichrist put a lock on the US of A, and you run that to the flower full moon, it's again still the 148. So that's a big deal. Now, later on, Trump said he had the illness. Now, we'll tell you something else about this flower full moon that we've been over, but I want to tell you again. I want to go over it again. This flower full moon when you run it to the August full moon, the first one, it's 88 days. So again, notice how the 2020 gives us 148, Donald J. Trump. And then this first of double full moons of August gives us the 88, Trump. So you got 148. These are all bouncing off of the flower full moon. You go to the next full moon, August 30th, the blue moon, and it's 117 days for his rising. So that flower full moon is either when the book will be opened, or it's just a bouncing off point, that these are bouncing off points to when the actual event will occur. And if this is the actual one, we suspect then he would get hit on a Monday, the 28th, and then rise on Wednesday. The book of Revelation would be opened on Wednesday, the storm. Which is Gigantica. And remember, at that point, the Abomination of Desolation is on April 8th, the total solar eclipse. It's 2 days. It's a perfect progression. That was progressions of 37. The 12th prime number is 37. 12 is the number for the church. So 37 is a quasi number for the church. And it's God in his three forms. And 7's a number for cleansing. So we like that 37, just in that respect. But the 222, which is Eve coded, because that's Genesis 2:22, just like the TV show Room 222 with Karen Valentine's, the hearts all over Trump, or the Antichrist and iPad goat. Genesis 2:22 was the Bible verse where the rib was removed to create Eve. Now 48 is also Donald Trump in Gematria, and 48 is a total solar eclipse. And it's 222 days. So literally you have 222 days, 222 days, that the book of Revelation is open to the Abomination of Desolation, in which I would suspect the Lord comes around the 11th, pardon that language, that the Lord puts a stop to the Great Trib. And that's very highly detailed in Revelation 6. But that's not the coming of Jesus. No man knows the hour or the day. And that's 2226 days. And my number does divide evenly. 7 times 6 times 1961 divided by 37. 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, 6. So is that because that's how long the book of Revelation is, and how long it is up into the Great Trib, and then through the book of Revelation? Because in Revelation 11, the church is detailed of going through the Great Tribulation for 3.5 days. They'll be killing sheep so rapid. That's why Jesus said, run. Don't even go into your house to get a thing. And the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war with them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And there the church is removed, or the 2 witnesses. Now they're represented by 2 candlesticks, just like the church is represented by 7 candlesticks, because 7's the number for cleansing. The church is about to go through its cleanse. So where's the 3.5 days at? That's what you're asking me, right? Hang on and let me find it. It should be highlighted. Revelation 11:11. And after 3.5, Spirit of life of God entered into him, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw it. So is that what we're looking at? The 2226 that the book of Revelation is opened on the blue moon, and our torment is over. It's basically a 4-day situation. That he would perform the abomination of desolation on the total solar eclipse that makes the X across America. There were two. And at the midpoint of those two was when the Pokey Poke came out. Which was just, just to connect it to the technology. So then he doesn't really go down in May, does he? He could. If he does, and it's 343 days to the 12th from when the book would be opened, and it is 11 months, 7 days. That's big. What's so big about 343? 343 is 7 times 7 times 7. Seven. There's 3 sevens again. That 37 and 7 is the number for cleansing. Boy, it really could go down in May, couldn't it? It's what iPet Goat's telling you. iPet Goat is telling you he's going down. That he's rising on May 5th. There's no doubt that that's what iPet Goat's telling you. And it has to be this year. Because it's a total solar eclipse that delivers the flower full moon. And that doesn't happen next year at April's total solar eclipse. That's a new moon, the total solar, on the 8th. The full moon would also be in April. It's not a flower full moon. And I did something. So Jones is going to do the goat. Which we know who the goats are. And the goat, of course, is the Antichrist. I've seen you go. Last thing. And so hang on and I'll show you where Anak talks about giving him his flowers. And we know all about the flower full moon. The prettiest of all time, and he made it look easy tonight, and that certainly lays the foundation for the 10th Thursday, 65th day of the year when NFL Network and start giving flowers. Gotta get John Jones with flowers. That whole time's he made a shit butt. Gotta get John Jones with flowers. That shit butt. Gotta get John Jones with flowers. Gotta get John Jones with flowers. Gotta get John Jones with flowers. Gotta give the goat his flowers. And of course, Wednesday, Mayflower, Pilgrims, Wednesday. So the god, they're all named. Hey, it's 226 long. Wednesday, Pilgrim World. What brought over the pilgrims to Mayflower? So how does all this fit with Wednesday? Wednesday would be the 86ing day. So I think it's one of these two dates because they both do connect with Wednesday. It's either he goes down on Wednesday, rises on Friday. Wednesday and Friday are married to each other. Friday is named after a goddess. All the rest of the days of the week are named after a male god. I like this one better. I like him going down in May better. So there was something else I wanted to look at. How many days from when the Earth was locked down? If you run it from 311, it's 205. If you run it from 313, it's 203. 619 for when he had the illness. It's not really much of a number that we've really dealt with. So not much help there. Just curious. So let's go back to the total solar eclipse, the Abomination of Desolation, on April 8th. Here's your 11-3 code. 11 months, 3 days. Corona, crown. So from the flower full moon to the Abomination of Desolation total solar eclipse, 488.16 in the minutes, 8136 in the hours, 48 weeks, which we know Trump is 48, Donald Trump is 48, and I think full reduction in 3 days. That's 483 coded, 83 coded, or Donald Trump being coded with murder. 92.88% of a common year. So 88, 48, 88, and 36, which is triangular number 666. It's all in there, but most importantly, it's the 11 months and 3 days. So you got the 11-3, 311 code again. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it? Really is. Now, if we go back 203 days, because we just saw that 203. September 18th. September 16th. I don't know. It's not a lot of help. I was just curious. So I don't know. That's about it. It's it really seems to narrow down that the event is going to be May 3rd or August 28th. And the rising on the 3rd day through the full moon is either May 5th or August 30th. And that the Abomination of Desolation is the total lunar eclipse, the corona. Trump said he had it on Donnie Darko day. If we run the Donnie Darko day, let's do both of those. So if we go 88, October 2nd, to the 48 or April 8th, Donald Trump is 48. $35.66, 4266. Now, James Bond's car tag was 4269. And if you run it through the 11th, which is the last full day that the Great Trib would be taking place, you do get the 4269, 426 months, 9 days, just on the front of the Bond car tag. Down here, the alternatives, you got 121 Antichrist in the seconds, 8668 in the minutes, got the 311 again in the hours, 1853 in the weeks, which reps University of Florida's, founded 1853. That's what all over their jerseys. That's very interesting. And now we want to run this from the October 2nd when he had the illness. Are we ready? We set? Okay. 366, 426, 183.3, 183 weeks, 3 days, 308.16 hours. But you got the 12 and you got the 84, 1284. Earl was killed on day 128. It's May 8th. But 3 years, 6 months, 6 days. So 36, which is a triangular number of 666, is fused with 66, which is the book of Revelation. It's interesting. I don't know. I just think that that's it. I just think the only thing we don't really know for sure is it May 3rd or is it going to be August 28th? Now, this is interesting. When you run when Trump said he had the illness to the flower full moon, it's 31 months, 3 days. So you have your 313 coded, heavily coded. And just like the contributor told me the other day, that 311 is the biggest numerical cipher that seems to be there. When you run it by the event date from when he said he had the illness, the illness was called Corona. It's 31 months, 1 day. So again, you have your 311 code. Really makes you think it's May 3rd, doesn't it? Let's run it to August 28th. Definitely not as strong, definitely not as heavy from that date, from that standpoint. So then, if he was to go down in May, what is all of this August about? It could be about something I'm not going to talk about, and it could be about something to do with the explosion, the war, World War III. Because once the book is opened and things start to happen, how long until like the real calamity begins? Well, we suspect that the things will start popping off rapidly. Like right there. But maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit of a slow go. Of cyber, lights don't work, which means grocery stores don't work, which means banks don't work, which means everything's shut down, just like back in 2020. But then lights come back on so they can give you narratives, let you know who the bad guys are. So when did the tsunamis hit? And when does all of that start to hit? The earthquakes in diverse places, and wars and rumors of wars. But the end is not yet. Because you have to get to the Abomination of Desolation to get to the end. So the book of Revelation would be open May 5th. But it would take then about that 11 months I really love that 343. 11 months and 3 days would be the length of, so there's your 11-3 coding. There's 33 coded with the number 9. That the book would be opened until the Abomination of Desolation. But then the calamity would then end. Now, let's just say it's the 11th that it ends, because it spoke of 3.5 days. So instead of making it the 12, we make it the 11, and you just include both dates. You still get your 343 and your 11-7 coded, 11 months, 7 days. What do you think? All right, love y'all.